Okay, part 2 of Stranger Things Season 5 was incredible. The stakes are as high as ever before, the action didn't stop, and the emotions, oh boy, let me just say I had tears in my eyes more than just a few times. I might have gotten a couple things wrong in my previous theory video, but there's still one more 2-hour episode waiting for us. As before, this video contains spoilers and is based on opinion. If you have different thoughts than me or others in the comments, feel free to share them, but please be respectful when doing so. I said previously that I am convinced that the Mind Flayer is the one pulling the strings in the background. We didn't see the Mind Flayer in these 3 episodes, though we do know that it has to be a separate entity from Vecna. But the fact that Vecna is now trying to merge Dimension X with the real world solidifies that idea for me. What would be the purpose of doing that if it wasn't for the Mind Flayer to be able to cross over? In D&D lore, Mind Flayers have one specific mutual goal: the restoration of their lost empire, aiming for order, perfection, and unity across every plane of existence. How would they accomplish this? By either enslaving or eliminating all that would stand in their way. Most of the time, they would make their slaves and minions do the work. And unless Vecna pulled a "fine, I'll do it myself," he is not the Mind Flayer. He is merely the Mind Flayer's vessel, bound to do his bidding. Remember that Henry Creel, aka Vecna, did not possess any powers until he entered Dimension X and got into contact with the Mind Flayer when he was a kid? And in the lore of D&D, Vecna was a simple human wizard before becoming an evil lich. A wizard doesn't possess magic per se, they have to study and use a spellbook in order to cast spells. Vecna, in the Stranger Things universe, does not need a spellbook, but his powers are also not innate. They were given to him. I mentioned an ancient being called Moxlick, or the Serpent, in my last video. The very being that tutored Vecna in D&D lore to make him as powerful as he now is. That being is the Mind Flayer, and Vecna is his 5-star general. Season 5 revealed that Vecna seems to be the mastermind behind everything. He started manipulating Eleven, he ordered the Demogorgon to kidnap Will, he now wants to merge the real world with Dimension X. But to what end? In episode 6 of season 5, we see what happened to Henry before he was first transported to Dimension X. He was just a kid, a frightened but helpful kid. Would someone like that want to dominate the world or eliminate entire species? I don't think so. During his conversation with Eleven in Season 4, Episode 7, he says that the human world brings disruption to a harmonious ecosystem.
But the human world was disrupting this harmony. You see, humans are a unique type of pest, multiplying and poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure of their own.
He doesn't say, but we humans are disrupting this harmony. He specifically calls it the human world, which implies that he is not associating himself with humans, which, if the Mind Flayer was talking through Henry in that moment, would make a lot of sense. He calls humans a pest that is poisoning the world, a pest bound to made-up rules, just pretending, just playing their part in a silly, terrible play, waiting for it all to be over. Henry Creel should have been around 14 years old when he was sent to Hawkins' lab. As a 14-year-old, you have no idea about the world. You might not even have an idea about yourself or your own ambitions. And all he experienced after that were experiments, tests performed on and with him or other kids. The idea of everyone just pretending and waiting for the end comes out of nothing, especially because the other kids didn't know anything else besides the lab and therefore had no idea that life could be spent living and not being studied. Henry had absolutely no reason to kill the other kids. The guards and staff, sure, they tortured him, or enabled others to do the same. But the kids? They never did anything to him. The Mind Flayer, on the other hand, wants to control the multiverse, and one way of doing that is by eliminating others. I was on the edge of my seat the entire way through episodes 5, 6, and 7. But when I saw the outside of Vecna's lair during episode 7, my very first thought was Nautiloid. Those who have played Baldur's Gate 3 probably know exactly what I'm referring to. The flying tentacle ship you wake up in the beginning of the game. It might just be a nod to those spaceships Mind Flayers used to travel through the material and astral planes, but I would also not be surprised if we actually see a Nautiloid. The tree Holly tries to run away from would be the tentacles in the front, and the room with the children would be the control center. The sharp teeth-looking rocks in that room are exactly that. Teeth. It looked very similar to the mouth of the Kraken in Pirates of the Caribbean 2. At least, it did at the time. I loved what they did with Nancy and Jonathan. The maturity on both sides to settle on friendship for now, to give Nancy the opportunity to find out what she really wants, was awesome. And the acting made me feel as if I was sitting with them in the same room. The acting all around was great. Especially Gaten, the actor for Dustin, was amazing. I'm surprised that so far nobody has died, and honestly, I could not give you another estimate even if I wanted to. My thoughts are pretty much the same as before though. 11 will probably stay behind when the others return to the real world, and I hope that Will and the others survive. Ted Wheeler is a goner for sure. Steve, the Goat Harrington, has to survive, especially now that him and Dustin connected again. Will this show end on a happy note? Yes, but I think it will be very bittersweet. As the Duffers stated, the show has a definite ending. So if the characters actually manage to do what they are planning, then the Upside Down will be destroyed, and with that, the means to ever establish a connection with Dimension X ever again. Especially when 11 and 8 stay behind. Vecna will be defeated, Lucas and Max get their happily ever after, Will, Mike, Lucas and Dustin will start a new campaign of D&D, and Joyce and Hopper will have their trip to Mexico. The world will be safe, but the friends lost along the way will be a constant reminder that life is worth living, and that everyone should support each other. If there is a post-credit scene or anything similar to that, it will not be a tease for something else to come. Unlike what they did with the first Spider-Verse movie, I don't think, if 11 stays behind, that the show ends with her communicating with Mike through his walkie-talkie or something else. That would establish that there is a chance of getting her back, which is not a definite ending. I rather think it ends how it started. The 4 boys sitting together in Mike's basement, playing D&D. It would be a very fitting ending. Honestly, I have so many thoughts on these 3 episodes, but it's hard for me to put it all into words, so sorry if this video was all over the place. We shall see how it all ends. With that, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I wish you all the best for 2026. Comment your thoughts and theories down below, take care, and check out the video on screen now for more breakdowns and theories.